Hello, this is Mr. Painter with another fabulous IXL tutorial. Today we're working on AA2, find the slope from 2 points. All right, in order to find the slope from 2 points, you're going to need a formula and some basic math skills. All right, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and submit the question, purposely get it wrong, and figure out what my formula is. So the formula is something called change in y over change in x. So what that means is you're going to subtract the y values and over subtract the x values. So remember, the y values are the last two values, in this case 10 and 1. So notice that you have 10 and 1 on top there. And the x values are on the bottom, 9 and 1. And whatever that comes out to be is your fraction. Don't forget to simplify your fraction at the end, because that's going to be important for figuring out your solution. All right, let's give that a try. We're going to do change in y over change in x, basic subtraction, and simplification. All right, so here we go. We have a fraction. We have an x value here, and a y value, and an x value, and a y value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my y values, 10, and subtract 3, over my x values, 4 and 10. So now it's just basic simplification. So you got 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. And you got 4 minus 10 is equal to negative 6. Now be careful, it's negative 6 because we have a positive 4 and you're subtracting more than you had. So our solution here, and whenever it's one negative, put the negative in front of your fraction. So the way this is read is negative 7 over 6. So believe it or not, 7 over 6 is the same thing as negative 7 over positive 6. They're actually both the same. So the rule is you put a negative with one, but not both. So when you type it in, type the answer with the negative in front of both. Is what they're going to be looking for. All right, let's give that a try, turn it in, and that's going to score us 14 points right off the bat. All right, next one. We got our x values. And this time I'm going to color coordinate it, so if you want to see where everything comes from, this might help. And you got our y values. All right, our fraction, we got our x values, 7 subtract 3, over subtracting our y values, 9 minus 2. So now we're just going to go ahead and just simplify it. So we got 7 minus 3 is equal to 4, and 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. Now 4 over 7 is in simplest form and cannot be reduced any further. So we got 7 over 4. Now notice I said 7 over 4, but the way you read it is the numerator over the denominator. So it should say 4 over 7. And I did type that in correctly, so I just want to double check. Sometimes one thing is what you think, and something is something what you type. Double check before you submit it that you get it right. And notice that the correct answer was 7 over 4. So I did make a mistake, and somehow my brain was telling me you're doing something wrong. All right, so we're going to click got it. It's all good. See, I knew something was going on, but now we can just run through it. It's not really a big deal because we're in the early stages right now. All right, here we go. We got x values. We got x values of 7 and 5, and y values over 8 and 5. Now this is where it went wrong. The y values go on top. That's where I messed up last time. So it is 8 minus 5 on top. Because remember, changing y on top and changing x on the bottom. 7 over 5 on the bottom. There we go. That should give us the right answer. That's why we got mixed up last time. So again, y values on top, x values on the bottom. So now we got 8 minus 5 is 3, and 7 minus 5 is 2. So 3 over 2 is in simplest form, and we're going to go ahead and just go with that. 3 over 2. That's a lot better. Now we're doing better. All right, clear the board. All right, next up we got our x values, which are 1 and 8. And our y values are 10 and 5. Remember, when it comes to the fraction, put the y values on top. So it's 10 subtract 5 over 1 minus 8. So when we do 10 minus 5, 10 minus 5 is going to give us positive 5 over, we have 1, subtract 8 is negative 7. The magnitude of 8 is larger, therefore negative, and 8 minus 1 is 7, so negative 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this as negative 5 over 7 when we put it in. So negative can go with the one or the other, and when we type it in, it's best to put the negative first. So negative 5 over 7. All right, we're doing real good. We're on a roll right now. We got x value of 9, x value of 3, and our y values of 6, and a y value of 11. So y values on top first. We have 6 minus 11 over 9 minus 3. So now we can just solve it straight out, right? So we got 6 minus 11. Now notice that 11 is larger, therefore it has to be negative. And 11 subtract 6 is negative 5 over 9 minus 3 is positive 6. So we're looking for negative 5 over 6. All right, next up we got x values of 3 and 9 and y values of 1 and 8. So on the numerator, subtract the y values, you have 1 minus 8. And our x values on the denominator, 3 subtract 9. And we're going to go ahead and simplify. We have 1 minus 8. Careful, the magnitude of 8 is larger, so therefore negative. 8 minus 1 is 7, so we're going with negative 7. Same problem on the bottom. The magnitude of the 9 is bigger and it's negative. Therefore, 9 minus 3 is negative 6. However, when you have a negative and a negative divide negative is positive. So we're going to go with 7 over 6. So one more time in fractions. Fractions mean divide. Divide, negative, negative is a positive. So simplifying that, it's just going to be positive 7 over 6. All right, next up we got x value of 1 and 6 over y value of 1 and y value of 5. So on top we have in our numerator 1 subtract 5, and our x value we have 1 minus 6. All right, so what we got on the numerator is 1 minus 5 is negative 4, because the magnitude of 5 is bigger with the negative, and 5 minus 1 is 4, so we get negative 4. And 6 subtract 1 is 5, but because the magnitude of the 6 is larger, that's also a negative as well. But the cool thing here is because we have a negative over a negative, we're going to have positive 4 over 5. Because remember, dividing negatives is going to be positive when it's two negatives. So positive 4 over 5. All right, we're doing real good. 8 questions later. Now remember, we missed the first one to look at the formula, and we also missed one earlier because we got the x and the y mixed up. So you're probably doing better than I am right now. All right, we have our x values of 8 and 6, and our y value of 9 and 2. So in our numerator, we have 9 minus 2, and in our denominator, we have 8 minus 6. And two whole numbers that I like, which are both positive. 9 minus 2 is 7 over 8 minus 6 is 1. Ooh, because we're asking to simplify your fraction as an integer, 7 divided 1 is actually 7. So we're going to go ahead and just say 7 altogether. So if we have a 7 over 1 or any number over 1, we're just going to go ahead and call it the numerator, because 7 divided 1 is 7. And I got 7 over 2. See, again, being careless. 6 minus 8. How did I get 1? Good old times there. So now I missed 3. Man, that's what happens when you fly right through it. All right, so I'm gonna fly through it a little bit faster because I want to catch up. 8 is x, 1 is x, and y is 9, and 5 is y. Numerators on top, so we have y values of 9 minus 5, and 8 minus 1 in the denominator, equals 9 minus 5 is positive 4, and 8 minus 1 is positive 7, so 4 over 7. Man, I cannot afford to get another one wrong. There we go. We're up in the 60s. Let's do it. All right. Now, numbers have become larger, and also they've thrown in negatives, so careful as you go, okay? So we got x of negative 32 and x of negative 31, and y value of 82 and a y value of 75. Y values go on top. We have 82 minus 75 over, watch your signs here, negative 32 minus minus. Why is there 2 minus? Because in the formula they have a subtraction, but in the number they also have a subtraction, so it's going to go twice. So minus minus 31. But when you have a subtraction of a negative, what it's saying is take the opposite of negative, which is positive. So our next step here is on our denominator, negative 32 plus 31. Well, the magnitude of the 32 is bigger, so it has to be a negative. And 32 minus 32 minus 31 is 1. So therefore, it's negative 1. So again, one more time, negative 32 plus a 31, it's negative 1 because the magnitude is bigger on the 32. Got to bring the negative. And top part, what looked really hard is pretty simple. We have 82 minus 75, and that's 7. Now we have that one situation with a negative, so let's put the negative on top here. And 7 divided 1 is 7, so we got a slope of negative 7. Woo! I'm hoping this one's right, because that was a lot of work to not get it right. All right, that was perfect. All right, let's get in the next one. We got x is negative 20 and negative 56, and the y values of 2 and 53. Here we go. Y value of 2 minus 53. Ooh, there's going to be quite a bit of math in there. Then our x values in the denominator, we have negative 20, subtract, watch your sign here, negative 56, so 2 negatives, 56. All right, let's clean this up. Negative negative is a positive. Now I'm going to bounce back to the numerator. The magnitude of 53 is definitely way larger, so it has to be negative. And 53 subtract 2 is going to be 51, so negative 51 there. In our denominator, we have 56, literally subtract 20. Need to borrow from the 5, I get a 4, 16. Why did I do that? Because 0 minus 6 works perfect, so ignore that part. We don't need to borrow at all. So we got 0 minus 6 is 6, and the 5 stays. For some reason I was wanting to borrow. We don't need to borrow. 5 minus 2 is 3, 36. So now we got 36. Now this one looks kind of tricky because I believe 51 can be divided by 3. So let's see if 51 could be divided by 3. So we got 3 into 51, because I think we could simplify this down a little bit. 3 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. So I got 5, subtract 3 is 2, bring down the 1. Yes, it does. So 3 goes into 21 perfectly 7 times. So therefore our numerator is 17, negative. And 36 divide 3 is 12. That one I could do mental math because I know what 12 is times tables. Okay, now negative 17 is a prime number, which means you cannot divide into it. Over 12, so negative 17 over 12 is as simple as we can go. Yeah, what a workout on that problem. All right, here we go. Negative 17 over 12. I cannot tell you how much I was like, please be right. That's just all that work going on. All right, this one looks a little bit better. We got x is 13 and x is negative 40. And y is 18 and y is 31. Numerators on top, which are the y values, we got 18 subtract 31. And our x values of 13 minus 40. 2 minuses because the 40 has a negative and we're subtracting it. Equals 18 minus 31. Ugh. Well, the magnitude of 31 is bigger, so it has to be a negative. And 31 minus 18. Now I got to borrow, so I'm going to borrow from the 3. I got a 2, which turns into 11. 11 minus 8 is, let's see, 9, 10, 11 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is 1, so 13. So we got 13 on top with the negative, since the magnitude of 31 is bigger. And the bottom is adding because the negative means negative opposite is add. So if I add these up, I got 0 plus 3 is 3, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So I got 53. Now, question is, can I simplify that? And I don't think I can. Now, the only thing I could check is see if 13 goes into 53, which I don't think works, because I think 13 times, what's that magic number? 4 gives us 52. Because here we go, 3 times 4 is 2, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Yeah, it misses. So 52 and 53 are not the same thing. And therefore, you are in simplest form right here. All right. We're going to go ahead and do negative 13 over 53. Oof, 2 more. It's kind of scary right now. All right. Next, we got a nice friendly number of 1 and negative 28. Negative 28, not so friendly. Definitely friendly is the 2, but not so friendly is the 99. Wow. All right. Numerators on top. 2 subtract 99. And the denominators 1 minus 28, which is negative, so it's minus 28. Back to the numerator. The magnitude of 99 is larger, so therefore it's going to be negative. And 99 subtract 2 is 97, so negative 97 there. And 1 plus 28 is going to give us positive 29. All right, now we got to figure out, well, is there a way that this can be simplified? Because if there is, and I put it in that as it is, we will get it wrong. Okay, now 29 is something called a prime number. Only 1 and 29 give you 29. Now 29 times 3 does not give you 97. I don't think it's going to work because that's going to give you, like, I believe 87. 9 times 3 is 7. Carry the 1. And 2 times 3 is 6, 7, 77. It misses by a lot. But what if we do 29 times 4? So again, we got to check and make sure it cannot be simplified. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. And 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 3. Ooh, 9, 10, 11. Way too big. Way too big. Something seems funny about math right now. Anyways. So if I do 30 times 4, that gives me 120. So actually that checks out. And I got a mistake over here. So 2 times 3. Oh, I forgot to carry the 2. That's why. I was like, something's wrong right here. All right. 9 times 3 is 27. There's the 2. I don't know why I put 1. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus, so that should be 87. So it still misses, but I was kind of just double checking, make sure it's right. So final answer here is we're going to leave it as negative 97 over positive 29. Cannot be simplified. Cannot be done. So here we go. Negative 97 over 29. Again, please be right. That was a lot of work to get it wrong. Whew. Okay, one more. One more. All numbers are positive, so that's helpful. X and X. And Y and Y. Oh, Y. Oh, Y. Here we go. 79 subtract 7 over 94 minus 36. Now, as long as I can subtract correctly, we're good. 79 minus 7 is 72. And 94 minus 36, can't do that in my head. 94 minus 36. Can't do it because I can't take away 6 from 4. That's what happens. So I'm going to borrow from the 9, get an 8, carry the 1. 14 subtract 6. This is where a calculator comes in handy, by the way. 14 minus 6 is 8. And 8 minus 3 is 58. So now I got 72 over 58. Now they're both ending in something called even numbers. 2 and 8 are even numbers, which means you can cut both by half. So half of 72 is 36. You learned that from your 12's multiplication tables, by the way. So how did I do that so fast? Because 12 times 6 is 72. But if I do 12 times 3, which is half of the 6, 12 times 3 is 36. So use your multiplication tables to simplify if possible. Now 58 is very peculiar. 58 is really close to 60. And I know half of 60 is 30. But because we're taking half of a half of 58 is going to be 29. So now we got 29 at the bottom. Now, can we simplify any further here? And I'm saying no because 29 is a prime number. There's nothing that goes in the 29 besides 29 and 1. So double checking for that's a positive. That's also positive. We should be good. 36 over 29. Look at me. I'm putting a subtraction there. Don't do that on your last problem there, because you're going to be doing this all over again. All right, here we go. Cross my fingers. Yeah, 83. All right, this concludes the IXL tutorial for AA2. Find the slope from 2 points. Take your time and have a great day.